Hey, it's Jenny here, Jenny HK from the Lifestyle Design Studio, and wanted to share something with you that I heard yesterday. I was at a one-day event, Peter Thompson's seminar. If you don't know Peter, go check him out. He's incredible, peterthompson.com. Anyway, aside from all the incredible content he was sharing, he had some real pearls of wisdom, and one of them I wanted to share with you today. Now, one of the things he said was, the harder the questions you're willing to ask yourself, the easier your life would be. Now, I have to say, I did have to think about that for a little bit, because as far as I can work, there's two strategies in life. One, you wander through life fairly aimlessly, you don't consciously ask yourself questions, you kind of take what comes, and then in your ignorant bliss, hopefully you arrive at the end unscathed and pass away quietly. Now, the other approach is strategy two, which is to become self-aware and ask yourself those difficult questions. What is it you're here to do? What is your purpose? What is your vision? How do you want your life to look? What are you prepared to give up in order to get it? What are the steps you need to do to make it happen? What is that first step? All these questions. Now, I have to say, I carried on through life using strategy one quite happily for quite some time, and everything was, well, lovely. However, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me, so one day I moved to strategy two. I guess the question is, was it easy? Is it easy? I would say a resounding no, because when you start to ask yourself those questions, you come up against all sorts of blocks, all sorts of challenges, and you know, there's times where I have felt like jacking the whole thing in, feeling I'm not good enough, I don't know enough, all those things that we all suffer from at some point in our life if you're prepared to ask those questions. Now, having said that, would I prefer to go back to strategy one? No, not at all, because right now what's happening and what has been happening is all sorts of exciting opportunities are opening up, incredible possibilities about what we're going to be doing with our kids in the future, the traveling we're going to do, where we want to live, all sorts of different things. And it's really exciting, and I can't possibly go back to strategy one now. But that's not to say it isn't tough, because it is. But I would just want to give you a little bit of encouragement, really, because if you're in the tricky stage, it's always going to be tricky, but if you are in that tricky stage, that initial tricky stage, just know one thing. You're on the well-trodden path to success. Now, I know this because I've interviewed quite a lot of very successful entrepreneurs now, and they've all been through it. They've all been through this challenging period, and it is part of it. It's part of the journey. So going back to Peter's statement there, the harder the questions you're willing to ask, the easier life becomes. I would perhaps say, and it's just my take on it, the harder the questions you're willing to ask, the greater the fulfillment and the opportunities that are going to come your way. So go for it, keep going one step at a time, and that is what's going to get you there.